Dating an ugly girl. Sorry about the clicking here, everybody. Dating an ugly girl. Hey, Bill, I just recently started listening to your podcast at work, and I got to say, great job, man. Thank you very much. You say some truly funny and inspiring stuff. Thank you. I wanted to ask you for your advice on a troubling matter of mine. I recently started dating a girl that I met on an internet dating site. That's unreal. I wish that shit was around when I was fucking single. And I was a young man, had a full head of hair, right? Jesus Christ, that's like going to the supermarket just picking out fruit. You know? Oh, Jesus Christ. If you're letting your ego get in the way of fucking doing that, you're out of your goddamn mind. Still going out paying a fucking cover charge. I guess there's the sport of that. You know? Not having the gun cocked, walking around with the shotgun broken over your arm. Right? Having your boy go flush him out of the fucking bushes. Every once in a while, though, wouldn't it be nice to fish in a stock pond? Anyways, you said we met on an internet dating site. We get along great. We got along great through emails, but when we met, I was surprised to see how ugly her face was and how slightly off she smelled. You know, I just did such a great commercial for why you should do internet dating, and now you've convinced me that I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, so what do you need advice at this point? She has an ugly face and smells bad. So what? Jesus. I just saw it's dating an ugly girl. Okay, well, I'm intrigued now. Well, what do you look like, sir? Are you a little off, and do you smell? Do your smells combine and actually smell like something good? Can that happen? Can two negatives make a positive in smells? I know they do in math. Needless to say, I was coming out of a dry spell. Also, she has a great body, so I put the moves on her. I never actually hesitated. You should have taken a fucking shower with her. That was the move right there. You should have taken a fucking shower with her and banged a doggy style. Jesus Christ, do I gotta hold your hand over to the fucking water fountain? Anyways, he goes, so I put the moves on her. I never actually hesitated. I just went on being myself around her and talking to her, and now we're together. The sex is amazing. I fucking knew it. I knew the sex would be amazing because there's no other reason to stay with. If somebody's ugly and they smell, they better fuck the shit out of you, or, they better find a new career because their fuck game is over. Playoffs? No. Your season's over. You're playing for a first-round draft pick. All right, the sex is amazing. She has a pretty deep voice. Jesus Christ. This is like the Money Pit, except instead of a house, it's a woman. All right, she has a pretty deep voice for a lady. So when we bang, it's the only time she talks and acts like a woman. Dude, if you get to the end of this and this person has had a sex change operation, I'm not going to be surprised. Jesus Christ. Do I continue? Yeah, I got nothing better to do. Fuck it. And he goes, blah, 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 and we get along great. She's like the best friend I never had. Yeah, I'm sure. She'd probably fucking lift more weights than you, too. Seriously, we make each other laugh a lot, and we're always learning and growing intellectually with each other. My dilemma is this. I'm a pretty handsome guy, and when we go out together, people always stare, give us angry or confused looks. Oh, come on, man. That might be in your head. I think that a lot of that might be you being self-conscious. Confused look? Like, why is this great-looking guy with this piece of dog meat? I don't know if that's your ego or you're dating the ugliest fucking thing ever. You said she's got a nice body. So, you know what I mean? Throws on a little makeup, does some shit with her hair. You know, maybe combs it in her face a little. Becomes 50% less, this is just getting meaner by the second. My dilemma is this. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I haven't introduced her to any of my friends and family yet because I'm afraid of what they'll think of me and how they will judge us behind our backs. Also, I don't want ugly kids, and that's pretty important to me. Oh, my God. Why are you with this person, sir? You're saying horrible things. She has an ugly face, she smells bad, and you think she's going to make ugly children. What the fuck? You know what it is? Your dick is still making the decisions in your life, sir. That's why you're still with this person. And secondly, just because you're good looking and you get with a good looking person, that doesn't mean you're going to have a good looking kid. All right? That's one of the fallacies out there. I can name a couple celebrity couples, drop dead gorgeous, had an average looking kid. Because you know what it is? It's not like you're beautiful and you're beautiful, so together you make beauty. No, it's you're combining your features. You know what I mean? There's a lot of average. I can tell you right now, more times than not, average-looking people have stunning kids. They have just as good a chance of making stunning kids. This is like that shit I was talking to you about like a few weeks ago, when I was talking about like when people give like Michael Jordan's kid shit because he's not as good as his dad at basketball. It's like, well, he's only half his dad. He's Michael Jordan cut with Michael Jordan's wife. Okay? And if she has no leaping ability, okay, and can't even catch a beach ball underhanded, that's going to fuck with the son's ability to go to the rack. You know? So anyway, sir, I'll read the rest of this, but anyways, I don't want ugly kids, and that's pretty important to me. She truly is an amazing person, and in a perfect world, I wouldn't hesitate to make her my wife. But the fact is, I'm too much of a bitch to completely accept her into my life. Well, you know what? You're man enough to admit that you're a bitch. That's a good step, which it is. But I don't really want to hurt her feelings. Her life is already pretty hard because of how she looks. Dude, what? Does she live under a bridge? What is the problem? What should I do? Am I too selfish and vain? Any advice in this matter would be appreciated. Well, the problem is, sir, you've stayed with her long enough that she's starting to get into your heart. You know, she was in your balls first, but then, you know, now she's up in your chest. So, what would you do? Well, you have to make the choice. Look, you either accept her for who she is and you introduce her to people around you, or you get rid of her, because you're going to hurt her. You know? That's it. I don't know what the fuck else to tell you. I hope I didn't come off like a dick there, but that's the deal. You got to make the choice. All right? All right, advice from Japan. Bill, I'm 28, single, and I live in Japan. I'm originally from America, and I moved here after college. I'm a translator and speak decent Japanese. Jesus Christ, dude, how the fuck did you learn that? You know, I listen to French, Spanish, like that type of shit, Italian. That seems like, you know, you get a handle on it. But that's, how the fuck you jump on that shit is beyond me. How they can go from theirs and be able to speak ours, I swear to God, it's incredible. Anyways, when people ask why I say that I love Japanese people and I love living here, what? Let me get back. I'm a translator and I speak decent Japanese, but the culture barrier is still pretty huge for me. When people ask why, okay, there we go. I say that I love Japanese people and I love living here, but I wouldn't ever want to become Japanese. Generally speaking, they're overworked and unhappy. For better or worse, my attitude keeps me a little isolated. Yeah, I've seen that stuff over there. Like, as far as what I've seen, you know, the propaganda from what I've seen, I saw in 60 Minutes, that if you fuck up at your job, they send you to some camp, and then you have to sing the company song. And these guys were singing the song, trying to get back in the company. They're, like, crying and everything, and there's, like, 4 Japanese dudes just looking at them, just ice cold. Simon Cowells to the fucking 9,000th power. Like your family disowns you. It's crazy. It's hardcore over there, man. Straightening their damn rivers. There is one very Japanese woman. What does that mean? I've met who I recently connected with in spite of all that. She's an amateur artist and actress, and we've worked together to make subtitles for local independent movies. That's how we met, actually. She's interesting as hell and downright sexy, too. Problem, she's married and has a son. Dude, what the fuck? Oh, are you trying to get a fucking samurai sword to your jugular? You're going to fuck a married broad with a kid in a different country? Dude, I don't know anything about the Japanese culture, but if you can lose face for not having enough paper clips at your goddamn desk and get sent to a borderline death camp and you got to sing a fucking song to get back into the company, how much face do you lose if Round Eye fucks your fucking woman? Dude, you're gonna get thrown into one of their straitened rivers. All right. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do this. He said from early on, it was obvious that there was a mutual attraction going on, especially whenever we were at a movie party with a couple of drinks in us. Like any guy would, I wanted to sleep with her, but I didn't dwell on it. Good for you. It never seemed like it was in the cards, but we were working together. We kept each other we kept each other at arm's length. Months went by without anything changing. Oh my God, dude. This is like this is like a suspense thriller. Dude, you can't do this. There's a kid involved. That kid loves his mom and his dad. You're going to go in there and your dick, like a samurai sword, is going to slice that kid's life in half. You can't do it. I'm going to read the rest of this with one eye closed. Then came the local film festival. Oh, geez. When it finished, we were downtown and pleasantly drunk. And the last trains that run every night were long gone. Well, isn't that convenient? When she mentioned taking an expensive cab ride home, I suggested that she crash at my nearby apartment until the morning train started. No, you didn't. You didn't suggest that. Your dick did. Your dick's like, relax, stand down, I've got this. Anyways, she had been there a dozen times already because that's where we always worked. Oh, my God, dude, this is like some Red Shoe Diary going on here. I'll cut to the chase. In my apartment that night, she turned to me and asked point blank if I wanted to fuck. Wow, dude, at that point, I think all bets are off. Okay? Because I thought you were kind of seducing this girl. Now she's just like... Oh, Jesus. Well, maybe you should have. Wow, I didn't see that coming. Anyways, he goes, and I told her no. Okay. He goes, I wasn't exactly surprised that she asked. Part of me was hoping she would. When she did, though, all I could do was go through what I felt right at that moment. I admit, I really didn't know what to do and was playing it safe. We went to sleep, and she left in the morning. Here's the thing. She and her husband, who I've never met, thank God, don't get along. Oh, she and her husband don't get along and have no sex whatsoever. Oh, so she's in a loveless marriage. Okay. This is what she told me anyway. She has long wanted a divorce but won't do it because of her son. So while saying no might have seemed like the noble, non-homewrecker thing to do, part of me keeps asking, what difference does it make? You know what? You ever see Scarface when the cop goes, it's your tree, Frank. You're sitting in it. All right, that's her fucking situation, dude. She married a guy that she didn't love, and she had a kid. All right? You know, you're stepping into the world of her bad decision. Now, think back when you were a kid, and you thought about meeting the woman of your dreams. Is that the way it went down? I'm not trying to shit on this thing here, but like, you know, I think she needs to be free and clear if you're actually thinking of getting into a fucking relationship with this person. If you're just thinking about banging her, I don't know, dude. I don't know. The fucking kid. Look, if there was no kid involved, have at it. But there's some kid sitting at home in some racing car bed, you know, loving his mom and his dad. I don't know. Do you really want that on your resume? Anyway, he goes, then there's the fact that our friendship suffered anyways because ever since that night, she's scaled back all the contact with me. They say that affairs never end well, but this isn't ending well either. I don't know. I just feel like maybe I should have fucked her. Now, if you've trusted guy friends say they would have. Of course they would have. I would have. I know I would have. If I was drunk and she said that, but the kid, I don't know if I could have blocked out the kid. I am a piece of shit, but I don't think that I'm that big a piece of shit. I'm just being honest. All right? I know there's a lot of ladies that are listening to this thing, but you know how we are. Okay? You lead us around by our fucking dicks. Some fucking hottie you're working with, he's probably already rubbed one out 50 times to her, finally just says, hey, you want to fuck or what? I mean, you're going to do it. You know, game on. You know, and for any woman who gets mad at me, that's some of the most honest shit about men you're ever going to fucking hear. So go fuck yourself and your email that you send to me, okay? God bless you. My few trusted guy friends say they would have. Whatever she may sound like, I think a lot of this woman, and I've never had someone like her just throw herself at me before. I'm starting to feel like I missed the boat. Then again, she's fucking married and has a kid. What would have you done? I told you what I would have done. If she was single, if she was married and didn't have a kid, and she was in this loveless fucking thing, and every day I'm next to her, working together, she's in my apartment, comes over, smelling good, and I have a couple of fucking drinks in me, and she says, you won't fuck or what? For some reason has a southern accent, I'm all over it. I would have felt like shit immediately. I would have felt guilty, but I'm fucking weak. All right? I'm a guy. I'm a fucking moron. And it would have been the wrong thing to do. So you did the fucking right thing. You did the fucking right thing. Dude, I'll tell you right now. You know what? Go rub one out to her. What do you feel like afterwards? Do you still feel, aren't you kind of relieved? Like, thank God I didn't do it? You know? I don't know. I just feel bad for her. You know, she married the wrong guy. She's got a kid with him. And then she's fucking says, hey, do you want to bang me or what? And you're like, no. And she's got to be walking back going, what the fuck is wrong with my thing? You know? Why isn't my lightsaber working here? I got this power and it's not happening for me. I don't know. I can tell you how to get that train back on the tracks, but I don't want to do that to you. So don't do it, dude. There's a kid involved, okay? Even I have standards. You got to have some sort of standards. All right? Where you just shout your dick back into your pants. Like, hey! I said stand the fuck down! You know? You got to have some sort of something. All right? Look. She's eventually going to leave that guy. She is. But I'm telling you, dude, that's not your fucking... Get the fuck out of there. All right? Get out. Fat wife won't let me work out. There's nothing funnier than just getting to the point.
What?
And just being the truth.
I don't even want to hear the question. I just love, like, the...
I mean, that's like a one-liner. Fat life won't let me work out. I love it. That's one of the greats of all time. Questions. Hey there, Billy Goat. Let's see here. I have a problem and would like your hilarious opinion on what I should do. Me and my wife have been together about 5 years now and married for 2. When we first got together, I was a young stud in my prime, in shape and crushing ass left and right. She was in good shape too. I used to work out 4 to 5 days a week and life was great. When we got married, she didn't like me going to the gym because she says I will leave her for a fitness chick. The insecurity. All right. I got to the point where I had to get her a membership so we could go together just so I could have my joy of pumping iron. But she only went 4 times and stopped going. Pumping iron. You got to do it. This guy's an old school guy. Pumping iron.
People still say pumping, but he was probably...
Yeah, he says it, you know. You know, doesn't some of your older relatives call people jive turkeys? Huh? Do I got to watch Ghost Dog? Fucking...
And leave my shoes on the stairs? Whatever the fuck that means. What does that fucking mean?
I just love... I gotta tell you something. As a comedian...
Random.
But as a comedian, I respect the balls of an obscure reference. She probably got offended me like, what? Because it's Bill Cosby? We all saw the fucking movie? You think I saw every black movie that's out there?
fucking asshole. I think maybe she's really into movies and she's fucking offended that you think that, that she would go watch that pile of shit.
Oh my God.
All right. So anyways, now we just...
Wait, I'm sorry. Just real quick, just before we move on, I do find that, like, white guys do have the most random fucking movie references ever. Like, nerdy white guys have the most they're throwing it out there like everybody knows it. I do feel
now,
like
do you
that's
feel
kind
like...
of a thing.
Do you feel like isn't some of it random because maybe they're watching really white shit that you wouldn't watch? Because I think... Because I kind of get, like you... Every once in a while, like, some of your peeps will be over our house and something will come on that I've never heard of, and you guys go fucking nuts like
right.
It's like Frosty the Snowman. Every year I would watch this shit. I have no idea what it is, so maybe there's some of that. Anyways, I don't want to get into that guy's fucking quagmire. Huh? Conundrum, quagmire. We're using all the big ones. All right. Anyways, now we just had a baby. Now we just had a baby girl. Congratulations. And we're both tired and out of shape. I want to get back into the gym and get rid of this dad bod, but I can't because she guilt trips me saying I could help with the baby instead. Instead of wanting to get in shape, also, she always says I'm going to get ripped and leave her for a skinny girl in the gym, and it annoys the shit out of me. That is annoying.
Yeah, but you feel really insecure, like, after you have a baby, because it's just your body. It's like they don't prepare you for what childbirth does to your body.
I know, but she was doing this shit before.
Right, but she's like moving at. But no, I'm not saying that they should get a babysitter so she can work out, so they can work out together or whatever.
Yeah, but he already tried that and she only went 4 times. So now, listen.
She doesn't want to work out.
I've lost 3 friends this year, 2 heart attacks and a stroke. Like, what this guy's doing is actually, like, going to prolong his life.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to have a kid with the guy and then he drops of a fucking heart attack. I mean, what are we doing here? Anyways, instead of wanting to get in shape, okay, I read all of that. What should I do? I don't want to give up working out, but I also don't want to feel unsupportive as a husband. Keep up the good work. Congrats on the baby boy. I mean, see, his heart's in the right place. Go to the fucking gym.
That's really hard. And you know what, though? You have to go to the gym, though, because it's what you feel, what makes you feel good. And, like, she'll get over it. She won't take it personally. Just
have her blow you before you go to the gym.
Oh,
then she can relax. What? That's a good...
No, just give her extra
hugs and
kisses and tell her she's beautiful and tell her she's a great mom and you'll help her out like whenever she needs it and she'll get over it. Like she's just
no, take your dick out and be like, do you want to hang on to this? Huh?
You see this?
See this?
This is going to walk right out that door if you don't let me go to the gym.
No, you got to...
It's just sensitive right now. It's a very sensitive time. So you have to be...
But she was sensitive before, too.
Yeah, I know. And it might not, who knows? It might be a bigger thing. But for now, but you should still go to the gym because, you need to get your stress out and all that other shit too. So good luck with that.
Good luck with that. All right. I promised on Monday, I teased it, old school podcasting, that I was going to have the lovely Nia on. And she was going to talk about being physically battered in Times Square. Battered? Well, as we've learned, assault is just the threat of violence. Battery is actually carrying out the act. Like, yeah, I know. That's a weird fucking thing. You know what I mean?
I was fucking assaulted. I was attacked.
You were attacked, but you were battered.
Okay. Yeah, because she made contact with me.
She made contact. I thought she just pushed. Here's the deal. We was walking, minding our own business. We got off the subway, and we were going in Times Square, a couple blocks up, coming down from the Upper West Side there, right? And we got off on, 49th Street or something like that, 50th Street, and we were walking down to Times Square, and I was like, wow, there's a lot. Look at all these fucking people here. Times Square was never this crowded.
So crowded. Yeah, it was crazy crowded.
And somebody I was with was like, no, it's always been this crowded. It's like, no, it wasn't. When I first moved here, this was all like porno shops and shady people, and it wasn't like this. It wasn't an M&M store and a bunch of people going to go see the fucking Lion King.
I love how you keep like saying this as if like you weren't here when all that stuff happened. You were here when all that stuff started to change. You're acting like you're like the narrator from fucking Taxi Driver or something. Like, oh, when this city is full of grit and grim. It's like you were here when it was like cleaned up and touristy. Why do you keep talking like you're...
Because it wasn't.
Like you're looking back on it like you're some, 70s fucking grizzled guy.
I'm not saying that. It wasn't.
When we left here together, like...
When we left, I came here in 94.
I know, but like all that stuff had already like changed when we left, when we moved to LA. So it's not like you weren't here for the M&M store and all the things that have happened since then. That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand what you're saying. When I came here...
I know, but you're also like, you're acting like you came here and wow, I'm back now and it's so different. You were here when all those changes were made.
This city since we left, turned into a
12
giant...
years ago?
Yeah, it turned into a giant Bed Bath & Beyond.
But I feel like it was like that when we left. No? Am I crazy?
You're crazy.
Oh, okay. No, I guess it wasn't that crowded.
It wasn't.
I used to work in Times Square when I worked at MTV, and I don't remember it being that crazy. I remember working there when the Naked Cowboy was still around. Do you remember the Naked Cowboy?
Yeah, but even that was part of a sillier time. I remember when I first came here, there was a Howard Johnson's in Times Square with a payphone that I sat on with a stack of fucking quarters or whatever the fuck it cost, cold calling people like I was in Glengarry Glen Ross trying to find a place where I could have a room in an apartment. Mm-hmm. And they put me on hold. Yeah, that's what and it was shady. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And when all of a sudden there was a, 94, 95, when did the M&M store come in? But it was somewhere Giuliani was just starting to clean it up. Mm-hmm. Tompkins Square Park was just all fucking junkies.
I remember the M&M store being there when we were here. I do remember the M&M store. Yeah.
It just has always struck me funny that like an afterthought candy would somehow get this spin-off that became this huge hit. It is fucked that it's a whole store. I get the Hershey store, which is way smaller.
What do you mean? M&M has always been in the game. They have those commercials, that one that comes on every Christmas when Santa comes down. He's like, oh, they are real. Like, he is real. And then he faints, and then the yellow one goes, Santa?
You know what this is, Nia? This is the generation gap between you and me.
Oh, I always forget that sometimes. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Because I'm so emotionally mature?
Yeah, well, because you're so old, and I just forget. I forget you're a decade older than me.
That's right. And I landed you.
I know. You took the best years of my life.
Old Billy Grizzled Nuts somehow ran you down, caught you sleeping at the fucking watering hole there in the Serengeti.
I really screwed up, didn't I?
You did. I pulled you in the deep water.
So anyway, are we going to talk about my assault and battery?
Wait,
assault and battery. How about that?
You got battered first, and then she assaulted you with her words.
I mean, whatever the fuck it was.
I don't, dude. I'm not a lawyer.
God,
all right,
I get so like upset thinking about it.
I got one microphone, so
all right,
you got to come.
So we're walking.
So we're walking down there, and I'm remembering my fucking New York, and you're like, "Oh, you were here when it fucking came here."
This all used to be peep shows and homeless people pissing in the garbage can.
There's an 80-year-old person saying the same thing, and you give them shit. Well, you were here when the M&M store came. What the fuck does that mean?
No, from the 80-year-old person, I'd be like, yeah, sure. But I just feel like you're doing this like weird, like New York beat. But you were here longer before.
No, this is you
long before I
just
was.
shitting on me for no fucking reason at all. I'm literally telling you my fucking experience.
Why is your shirt open, like 5 buttons at the top? What's going on right now?
Because I was going to change into a T-shirt, and then I said, oh, fuck. I got to do this podcast because they're going to come to pick me up.
Florida DJ, or like, I don't know what it is. It's a hot one out there, folks.
And I got the tunes to cool you off. This is Cool in the Gang with fucking stick your balls in some ice there. All right.
Dumb mustache. All right.
The mustache is fucking paying for a
bill,
yeah,
baby.
it is, baby. All right, someone on you give Starsky a little hutch over here every once in a while. Sorry, once in a while. Sorry. Okay, so we get off, and evidently I am waxing poetically, as you like to say, about I don't know what. I mean, I went to the fucking peep shows. I'm not gonna say with the comedians. When we first came, we took the bus down. We got off at the Port Authority. It was the dirtiest, fucking grossest place
fine,
ever.
But literally every single time you talk about Times Square, you're like, I remember when it used to be this, and now there's an M&M store. It's just like, we get
Every
it.
time?
You're old. Yeah, yes, every time Times Square comes up, you're like, they got the M&M store down there? I mean, what is going on? It's like every single time you say that.
I just think it's a funny store.
Okay.
I guess I gotta wear. Let's get back to the fact that they have their own fucking store.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect them. I'm not trying to disrespect them like they're on the level of Kit Kat, but they're not Hershey. Hershey was like the greatest generation, World War II.
Are you saying that Kit Kat is like below, like one of the lower rung candies? Because I strongly object to that.
Listen, who's kidding who? All right.
Who is kidding who?
All right. Like, if we were going to put it into like a band.
Okay.
All right.
Who's going to be at the top, you're saying?
Yeah, if you're gonna say like this band is a derivative of that band, or they're a wannabe this band, M&M's, they're this weird sort of like I don't know what kind of band they are. I don't want to shit on anybody.
I can't believe you're about to try or trying to find a reason to trash M&M. They're like the old school, like they are like the consistent top.
They are, but are they worthy of the store's like 3 floors high, and you walk through Times Square and you always see somebody with those fucking yellow bags. It's like, what the fuck are you buying? You can get M&Ms at a fucking deli.
But they also have the merch. They have like the plushies of all the M&M characters that are in the commercials.
Don't ever say plushies again.
Okay, they have merch. Okay, and then they have like shirts, and then they have like M&M, like cookies with M&Ms in it, and brownies with it. Like it's like everything having to do with M&Ms that you could like.
Yeah, they sold out.
Okay, well.
Hershey's consistent. Hershey's just fucking the candy bar, the kisses. They got a nice, modest fucking store in Times Square. Hershey just totally fucking sold out.
M&Ms, you mean?
M&M, sorry, M&M.
Are they not a part of the same company? We should probably do our research on that because they might be like the same company.
First of all, don't do research, and isn't everything owned by like 3 different fucking people? That fucking pedophile with his own goddamn island, he probably owns them, right?
Yeah.
Come on, you're not gonna roll with me with the pedophile billionaire?
No.
With his own island?
I hope he fucking gets killed and burns in hell. So.
And then what?
That's all I got.
And they put him out.
That's it.
They light him on fire again.
That's right.
That fucking jackass pretended to kill himself so he could get out of fucking jail.
Exactly. I feel like he's going to get to hell and the devil's going to be like, oh no. No. There's a worse place for you. Anyway, so getting back to Times Square and my story.
So we're walking by the M&M store and I'm like, what the fuck? And we're just walking and you're walking with another buddy of mine, and I'm a few back, and I just see this black woman comes up and just fucking, I thought she just pushed you in the shoulder. And what I didn't realize is she did a half-ass hammer fist that hit the side of your neck.
Yeah, what I think she was trying to do actually is that she was trying to hit me in the face. I think she had her palm open, right? And she stuck it out. And I think because I turned my head to talk to our friend or the way that I was walking, she ended up getting me in the neck. But she was just going to hit me in the face and keep going, you know? Or I mean, I don't know. I guess she thought I was.
No, she wanted to fight you.
So she got me in the neck and I went, what the fuck? And I went, did you just hit me? And she goes, yeah, bitch. What, bitch? What, bitch? And just got all in my face. And
no, she didn't.
What?
She didn't get in your face.
What do you mean?
You don't remember the bald fucking jerk off in between the two of you?
Before that happened, though, I was like, did you just hit me? Can I tell my fucking story? Like, why am I on here? To listen to you talk about how you, like, you know, don't like M&Ms? Or can I
I'm the M&M candy that came to life and got in between you and that fucking lunatic.
But at first, like, She hit me and I went, "Did you just hit me?" And she goes, "Yeah, bitch." And at first I'm thinking, did I accidentally bump into her? And now she's like upset. And then that literally lasted 2 seconds. And then I got fucking heated and I started like cursing at her. Then you were in between. And I don't even remember what I said to her. I was just like, "Fuck you, bitch. Let's go." Or whatever it was I said. Cause I did a quick scan of her and I was like, "Oh, she's like 98 pounds soaking wet. Like I can take her. This is easy." She had like this blue wig on. She was skinny as a rail. I was like, "I'm going to fucking beat this bitch up." And then you were in between us and we're going back and forth and going back and forth. And then finally I'm like, I'm not actually going to fight this girl. Like, am I really going to get into a physical fight in Times Square and like broad ass daylight and fight? Like, I'm not going to fight this girl. I'm a mother. Like I had to come back to myself and remember who I am. And you were screaming at her and telling her.
I don't remember that part. I remember, this is how I remember
I'm
it.
talking about what's going on inside of me internally. Okay?
I was like, what the fuck? And then she turned around and I was like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. So I got in between the two of you. Mm-hmm. And at first you were like, what the fuck? And she's like, what? Blah, blah, blah. And then I felt you get mad and I was like, oh no. And I could feel you coming back. And in my head, I'm thinking, Nia, leave. Mm-hmm. Leave. And then the two of you, I was like the security on a fucking reality show. And she kept starting to walk away, and then you'd say something, and then she'd come back doing like the mock charge, like the fucking elephant.
She's like, "I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna catch you." What about I don't know.
Yes.
I was out of myself.
I was on an episode of the Real Housewives of Times Square.
She got me. I was so fucking mad. I was like, how fucking dare you? How dare you? And I just got so mad. I was like, I'm gonna rip this bitch's face off.
Right. And all I'm thinking is this is a woman and I can't hit her. And she keeps coming up. And that was always the hardest part was when she would do the mock charge because she's so nuts. She didn't even fucking really see me. You know what I mean? You know, she's so fucking dialed in on you. I had to put my hands up. It's like, I can't hit her in the face. There are her titties. She fucking weighed no fucking nothing. What could I, what am I supposed to do? Find that fucking abdomen and in her fucking left shoulder? So I don't know.
You should have.
I wish, I gotta be honest with you. I kind of wish.
I was so mad. I wanted to fucking rip. I just wanted to tear her limb from limb.
I know. I kind of wish one time when I pushed her back, I accidentally mushed her in the face. But Nia, you have to understand that's, because I don't know if you've noticed, there was a bunch of fucking people there just watch. It just beats entertainment. They don't care.
And I remember there was like kids walking around and stuff. And I'm like, I can't get into a fight with this girl in Times Square. And there's kids and families and tourists around. And as soon if we actually had made contact, her and I, people would have brought out their phones and it would have been a whole fucking thing.
No, that was not going to happen, Nia. I was not going to allow that. I was not going to let. I just had to be in between the two of you, hoping she was continuing to mock. And then I finally realized that she wasn't going to leave. So then I just barked at her like a dog.
Yeah, you were like, "Leave, bitch." What did you say? And you kept going, "Fuck you, fuck you." And
yeah. My usual.
Your mother to you. Your mother. That's
no. She never talked to me. She was dialed. She didn't even see me. She was fucking crazy. And then she said when she walked by, "That's why your mother died, bitch." And I was like, "Okay."
She was going, your mother. That's why your mother's dead. And I was like, oh, she's fucking crazy. Oh, she's just nuts.
Yeah.
Like she's like on drugs or something. And then that was the end of it.
That's the Times Square that I remember. I was actually feeling nostalgic in the middle of all of that. Well, I hope the Photoshop guy has you with an M&M bag. And me dressed like Taxi Driver getting in between on a reality show. There's a lot to work with this week.
Yeah, that was. I'm
gonna tell you this. I'm very happy that you didn't fight her, and I am very happy that the whole thing went away. But there is a part of me that wishes I picked her up and body slammed her into the trash.
Same. If you hadn't, for whatever reason, gotten in between us, we would have actually fought because it was when you got between us and you were barking at. I was like, "What am I doing? Stop."
And Nia has gotten physical with me numerous times in this relationship, and I can tell you without a doubt, unless that woman had a box cutter, she would have lost. That would have been I know you had your braids, right? That I don't know. She might if she grabbed you
If she
there.
grabbed
That's the
my hair,
equalizer in
that
a
would've-
chick
That
fight.
would have been hard, but I still would have found. I would think, would have like rammed her like a bull. Even if she's grabbing I would think that I would just run towards her and she would.
You
topple
fight
over.
dirty, Nia. You go
I do-
dirty.
Oh, I fight so dirty. So I would have been
No
like,
rules. You're like blood sport.
Yeah, yeah.
I literally at one point in our relationship said, Nia, if you hit me again in an argument, I'm breaking up with you. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
And you never did it again, although one time you threw my laundry at me. This big anticlimactic because it was a bunch of socks, and you went to throw them at me, and I was too far away, and they got 3/4 of the way, and then they just sort of because you used all that fabric softener.
I don't remember that.
I do. We were in the living room of that fucking apartment we had.
Your fabric softener. Huh? I don't even know what that means.
Well, anyway.
But our friend was saying to me, he was like, "Look at you," to me, because I went after her. I was like, "Yeah, well, I can't actually get into a physical fight with somebody. That's ridiculous." But my adrenaline was going, and I was ready to fight. And then,
Oh, this is the greatest part.
oh my God, we're leaving where we were leaving.
Yeah, we went to it was the night I was going down to open for Chappelle,
Yeah.
and the power outage happened.
Right.
So now we're all walking.
canceled.
We're walking through fucking Times Square as everybody's getting let out of these shows on the half of Broadway that wasn't lit up. And we're walking through, and there had to be, felt like 1 million people in Times Square. And who the fuck did we see again?
It's that
The crazy
bitch.
blue-haired lady.
It's the crazy bitch. And I was like, what the fuck? Because at this, now I actually got a little scared because I'm like, is she stalking me? Is she waiting for me? Like, what is really going on? But she was walking through the crowd. She was walking in the opposite direction.
She didn't even remember it, Nia.
And
I'll
she looked
guarantee you,
so
she didn't
out
even
of
remember it.
That if I walked up to her and said, "Hey, which way is the subway?" she would have no recollection. She was completely out of it. And my kinder side wants to be like, who knows if she's living on the street, if she's on drugs, who knows what's happened to her. But, if you come for me physically, like, I have no sympathy for you, and I'm going to try to rip your head off. So
That started like great pay-per-view trash talk.
what do you mean?
Because if you come for me, I'm like, oh, this is going to be epic. If you come for me, then, I'm not going to tolerate that. And I'm going to, hey, man, that's just like your opinion, man.
That's just like your opinion, man. Yeah, well, that was that. So I've never, in all the years that I lived here, I had never once gotten, physically assaulted or attacked or touched or anything like that. That was the first time it ever happened. And it was in Times Square, like, of all places, with 1 million people around. But she was nuts, and she just saw me and just went after me.
It's just so funny that you say in Times Square of all places, because the Times Square that I remember.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Let's just talk about SNL for a second. I just want to thank everybody over there, Laura Michaels and the entire cast and everybody that works there. I had the most fun. I had so much goddamn fun doing that show. I thought I was going to be an absolute wreck. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a nervous wreck on Sunday afternoon because I had run my monologue a couple of times and it wasn't working because I was putting it together. And how it always goes. But I had this big, legendary show that I'm going to go do. And everybody knows the first episode, the first guest host was George Carlin. So I was really trying to downplay the magnitude of the gig. But you can't when it's SNL. So I was kind of in my head, and I was going on stage, and rather than just telling my jokes, I was asking the crowd if here's this idea. What about this one? And I was just eating my balls. And then, of course, I was also doing COVID comedy, so I was standing on sidewalks and on top of roofs, and I was just like, what the fuck? And I went to the taping Saturday night when Chris Rock did it, and it really helped me as far as when I saw it. I was just like, oh, my God, I can't believe this giant show is the whole history of this show is in this little studio. Because it just seems, because when you watch it on TV, it is just the biggest thing ever. When you go there, it's not, it's a soundstage. It's just like this little thing. And so in a way that helped me to relax. But then on the other side, like the fucking opening sketch had Jim Carrey and Alec Baldwin, two of the greatest to ever do it. And I'm going like, I can't follow those guys. I can't, and I was like, hold it together, right? And by the way, I had already run my set like 3 times before I went over there for the taping and just ate my balls. So I was trying to play it cool. And I watched the whole show, and I talked to Chris afterwards. He gave me some great advice and everything. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, God, I wish I was him right now because he's done. And it went great. I can't wait for that. And I just started thinking about 1:01 a.m., Sunday morning the following week when the gig would be over, which is the stupidest thing you can do because now you're not going to enjoy it. And that's right where my head went. I started catastrophizing in my head. I had a total fucking panic attack in the hotel room the Sunday, right before I was going to go in on the Monday, the first day. And my wife, being the rock that she is, she talked me down and all of that. And, I've put her through some shit on some big gigs like that, freaking out, which really is normal when you're doing something like that. But it's also sucks for the person you're with that they have to sit there. It's like, somebody threatening to kill themselves that isn't going to kill themselves. It gets exhausting after a while. It's like, you're not going to kill yourself. Can you stop putting me through this, right? So I just was like, all right, I don't want to put my wife through this, and I don't want to be in this mindset the whole week because it's going to fly by. And then afterwards, I know I'm going to do well. I know I'm going to have a good time. And then I'm going to look back going, I wish I enjoyed this. So I just took all of my angst and said, there's no reason to be nervous the whole week until 11:30 Saturday night. And then if you want to be a little nervous, manageably nervous, whatever, and then the show's going to start. And just once I get out on stage, I'll be fine. So every day I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm doing SNL. And I'd be like, it's Monday. We just sit down, we hang out, blah, blah, blah. We kick around some ideas, blah, 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 blah. Nobody's going to see it. None of this is going to be taped. You could literally do a face plant, into a pie. Nobody's going to see it. And then I just kept doing that every morning. And I ended up having the best time and being obviously any comedian, a huge fan of the show. One of the greatest parts about the show is not only that you get to do it, is you get to see how they put it together. You get to see how hard everybody works. Because that's the thing, when you host the show, everybody around you is busting their ass, and they're just waltzing you around like the friggin' prom queen. Everybody's writing shit for you. What's your wheelhouse? They're all busting their ass. And then people, are you okay? Is everything okay with you? It's like, yeah, I'm not doing shit. You guys, you guys are all working. And I just, you sit down, you do the table read, you read like a zillion sketches, and I was reading them, and I thought there was going to be like, a lot that weren't going to be good, and I was reading them like, these are all fucking funny. And even the ones that aren't as funny as the other one, you could see how you could punch this up by Saturday and it was going to work. So I started really getting excited, like, man, these writers are amazing, right? Then we did the table read. The table read was fun as shit. And I got to see the whole cast and watching them, how they do it. And the whole thing was just, I don't know. It was incredible. And then we started rehearsing them. And you get to go up in the room as they start putting together which ones after the table read, which ones they're going to pick. And then you go into the war room, and we're thinking of doing this here and that there. And what do you think about a pre-tape here? And you get to sit in on all of it. And then there's all this memorabilia and shit. I took a picture. There was a flyer in there from the first show that had George Carlin, George Carlin's picture on it. It said something like a new show, Saturday Night Live or something like that. And And then Friday we did the pre-tapes, and I had a great time doing that. We rehearsed, and then I went back out, shot some more stuff. That was the only long day. And then Saturday, you just show up. They do like a dress rehearsal, and then they do one in front of the crowd, and then you just do the show. And it just flies by, is the only thing I can tell you. And standing backstage when they were doing, after they did the cold open with Jim Carrey and Maya Rudolph, dude, my head's spinning. I forgot the whole Jack White part. The poor guy who was going to do the show was doing what I would be doing if I was a rock star at 27. He was making out with some pretty girl, and somebody saw it and took a picture, whatever. Who doesn't do that at 27 or 28? They'll have him on. Just not this show. So then they added Jack White, and then Jack White came in. Like the show wasn't already exciting enough. He comes in, and I got to watch them rehearse. And I got to tell you something, man. As amazing as it is to watch when you guys watched it at home, to be standing right there when they were doing it. Like when I tell you all the hair on my arm was standing up when these guys started playing, and the drummer, is it Daru Jones or Daru Jones? I like the week just flew by. His fucking setup. My buddy said it. Look, he was playing drums. Looked like he was going to be falling out a window, and they just came in and just fucking ripped, just face melting shit. And I was like, holy shit. And I just started thinking, if I crush my monologue and I just do my part in these sketches, and then Jack's going to do that twice, this is going to be a fucking killer show. And then when we did the dress rehearsal, there was there was so much shit in there for Eddie Van Halen, by the way. Like I didn't know that they were going to show the clip from when he came on. I think it was in '89 when his then wife Valerie Bertinelli hosted the show. So they had that clip, and we did the dress rehearsal in front of the crowd, and we were about ready to say goodnight. They played that clip, and I didn't know it was coming. And I like the emotion of that was just like, fuck. Like, what are the odds? Like, that I could get to say goodbye to this guy on this stage, man. It was crazy. So, and then the other thing was Jack was telling me that, for the longest time I remember seeing like Jack White is literally a guy who could have gone to Sears Roebuck and bought a fucking guitar, and he'll make it sound better than, someone like me on a $10,000 guitar. He just can get that sound. He's just, like, I can't even describe like his whole vibe. It's like he's like a time traveler. It's like he's from now, but you also feel like you're talking to somebody from the 1930s in like the best way. And he goes on stage, and it's like he's like fucking possessed. And I got so much out of watching him, even in the rehearsal, where it reminded me of a story. I remember here, Chris Layton, Stevie Ray Vaughan's drummer, was talking about, where Stevie was talking about some guitar lick, and they were on the tour bus. And when he played it, he still played it like he was in front of 30,000 people. He didn't half-ass it. Like, he had a musical idea, and he just fucking only knew one way to do it. Like, Jack White and his band had that vibe. And I don't know why, but I always grab it. I think just because I've always loved music, I learned so much as a comic watching musicians, if that makes any fucking sense. It was like when I was telling you when I watched that Herbie Hancock thing. He told that story about Miles Davis going, don't play the butter notes or whatever. And I was like, I know what that means comedically. That means go on stage and say what the fuck you want to say. Don't ask the crowd if it's funny. Tell them it's funny. If they don't like it, fuck them. That's what it is. And also, take risks. Get outside your comfort zone, all of that. And I don't know why. Maybe just because I've watched so much stand-up, after a while, you just sort of like get a little numb to it, that I have to see I have to learn stand-up lessons through musicians. It's really weird. So, anyway, I don't even know where the fuck I am. So we go out to go do the show, and I got to tell you, when you're standing back there, like, ready to go on, man, it is just like, I don't even know. There's no way to describe it. It just, you know what I kept doing? I kept standing on that stage whenever I could because I was looking at it, getting butterflies. And I was like, I need to keep standing up here, talking to cameramen and shit while I'm on this stage. I have to get comfortable here or this isn't going to work. And I kept doing that. And, of course, I'm a big fan of Sean Pelton, the drummer there. I got to meet him. He was such a nice guy. He gave me a drumstick, which is fucking awesome. So, and he was a nice guy. And I talked to him, got to know him a little bit. So when I came out to do the monologue, I looked at him, and he was having a good time, big smile, really helped me out. So thanks to him. And then now I have to give a shout out to Lauren and just everybody over there. And then all of these amazing comedic actors that, what do you call it? I think that's the right word, comedic actors. Beck Bennett, Michael Che, Pete Davidson, of course, Mikey Day, Heidi Gardner. She was fucking hilarious. She wrote these 2 killer sketches that didn't quite make the show. I hope they do them in the future because they were great. Colin Jost, Kate McKinnon. I was watching her, and I'm literally like, all she needs to get, somebody just has to write her, just give her the Oscar part, and she's going to go get it. She was like I learned so much from her. And Alex Moffat, Kyle Mooney, had a great time with those guys. Beck and Pete and Mikey Day, we got to do the politically correct, Don Pauly, all of that. We had such a good time. Where else? Who else? Ego, Chris Red. They wrote me some great stuff. Keenan Thompson was just amazing, calming force to be around. And he's fucking hilarious. He's just a fucking great dude. Punky Johnson, last time I saw her, we were fucking hanging out at the... And she's amazing. She was like, everybody's favorite down at the Comedy Store. And she also worked at the Comedy Store. So she'd be like behind the bar, getting drinks for the crowd and then going up on stage, crushing it. The typical, comic coming up. And I can't tell you how happy everybody was at the Comedy Store when she got SNL. It was like the same thing like when Melissa Villaseñor got it. Bowen Yang, I got to know him. All of them were so great and so generous in all of the sketches that, like, it basically, once you do the monologue, you can then just sort of hide in their talent, and just deliver your lines. Oh, Jesus. Me trying to fucking read out loud and trying to get the hang of it's the top card because they lift it up and then you can see the bottom card. Don't read that shit until they put it up there because I kept stepping on people's lines. But like I said, I just want to thank everybody over there for getting me through it. And Lauren gave me like the perfect advice for my monologue after dress rehearsal. He said, just make sure you take the time to tell people thank you and that because I was kind of just jumping into my set a little too quickly, because I wanted to get to the first joke, get to the first laugh, da-da-da-da. Rookie moves, but I mean, you revert back to your rookie mistakes when you get into something that's as big as that. But my overall takeaway from that show was it's the most exciting, fun gig I've ever done since I got into show business. I still can't believe that I got to do it. I still can't believe it went that well. And I just can't believe how much fun it was because I was so fucking nervous when, I was initially supposed to do it in April and then the COVID thing happened. And I'm not going to lie to you, like, I think I was more excited that it got canceled than I was bummed because I was definitely bummed out. But I was also like, oh, thank God that fucking, the countdown to having to fucking have my shit together to pull that off has been shut off. And, I don't know the whole thing, but the whole thing worked out because of everybody over there at the show. So fooled them again, got away with it. And I also got to thank the Comedy Cellar, Stand Up New York, and New York Comedy Club for all the stage time you guys gave me that week, getting ready to do it. And also for Keith Robinson for heckling me while I was doing my monologue, having no respect for the fact that I had this level of a high-pressure gig, and it just put me in a stupid mood. Like, Keith has like this sage thing about him. He probably saw that I was a little tight, or he was just being his usual asshole self. Like, I don't give a fuck that you're doing your monologue, stupid. I don't like your jokes. So, it was, that was a hell of an experience. I'll never forget it. And then after it was over, you know, you're standing on that stage realizing how it goes by so goddamn fast. I know at one point when I was changing, when I saw a picture of me with the SNL thing and the band was playing, I got that's when it really hit me. I was like, I can't, like, this is real. Like, I'm on this fucking show. It was nuts. And then in the end, you get to say goodnight. I got to say, rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. They got me a Van Halen t-shirt. And, also, Jack White, I forgot. He was, the subtle nods to Eddie was, I didn't even finish the story about Jack, how he used to just play like these little store-bought, he used to make guitars and stuff for himself. Like, I don't even know. But he had the Eddie Van Halen Wolfgang model, which was the name of Eddie's son, and that's Eddie's company. He named the guitar after his son because he's the greatest dad ever, right? Not only the greatest guitarist, if you do that for your kid, you know you're all in, right? So, and Jack was showing me like the whole setup of it and everything, and you know, no one's going to go on stage and play a Van Halen song because you're not going to do it like Eddie. But there was one point with a song where they brought it down, and just for the perfect amount, 6 to 8 seconds, 10 seconds or whatever, Jack did a little tap on solo, just the totally coolest little tip of the cap to Eddie, and then went right back in to, and now this is how I do it. And then they showed that video, and then I got to wear the Van Halen t-shirt, say, Eddie, rest in peace. I just thought, you know, when a guy like that of that magnitude passes, that a show that legendary, to give him his due, it was so humbling to be a part of that. So, yeah. Crazy, 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 crazy.